Good afternoon. It's Sue from Snake River Stamping. Thank you for joining me today with my live. Well, actually, it's pre-recorded, I think. I'm hoping I'm pressing the right buttons. You know me and all the buttons. Today, I'm going to show you a really cute card that looks like this. I'll show you in a minute. On the desktop, it works a little bit better. And you put a tea light in it. Use some vellum so you can see the light behind it, and it's really just a warm, lovely little card. I'm gonna point the camera down for a minute, or for quite a while, and share with you about my open house that's coming up. I did have to change one of the dates because I forgot about Christmas dance recital. So my new dates, or one of my new dates, is Saturday, December 7th, which is next weekend. It's from 10 to 2, and you do have to pre-register and prepay for this one because of all the things I have to get for it. And you can do that by emailing me at sue.turner.snakeriverstamping@gmail.com, or you can just private message me on Facebook if you would like to do that, or you can call me. All my information is linked, and you can call or text if you'd like, and just tell me which day you'd like to come. So either Saturday, December 7th, or Monday, December 9th. I'm open from 10 to 2, and you can come any time in between that. You probably need about an hour and a half to complete all the projects that I have for you. Oh, I know one important thing. This is really important, and I think I forgot to advertise this earlier. For all my existing customers that have spent $150 or more with me in 2024, and I do have a list of those people. If you would like to come, you get to come for free because you've been one of my good customers. So just, again, contact me on which day you want to come, and the whole shoot and match is free for you because you've been such a good customer, and I really appreciate my customers. The rest of you, it's $25 to pay for all the products and things that I have that we'll be using to make the project. So I'm going to switch the camera down so you can see what we're going to make. We're going to be using the Yuletide Village, and we will be making this framed piece of Christmas art. It stands up or it hangs up. I'll have this, the village will be stamped in black, and you'll be coloring it and cutting it out. And I'm trying to miss the glare. There we go. You'll be coloring it and cutting it out and putting it in the frame and all that. And you can decide on how you want to color. I'll have a couple of examples of coloring. I have tons of these alcohol markers that I use to do this, and they blend really well. They're called blends, and I'll have all of that. I'll have all the supplies, I'll have the frames, all the stuff that you need to do it. You will also be making some Christmas cards, and you'll be making 3 or 4, depending on how much stuff I get cut. This is one of them. This is a gift card holder. Just fit a little gift card in here. Okay. And one of them, oh, this one uses our new green and gold suite that we have out for Christmas. And it's beautiful. It has lots of different die cuts, and then the green and gold paper. It's really pretty. And this one is decorative trees. This is one of the more simple ones where you just put a piece of patterned paper And again, I think this is from the Green and Gold suite. You just pick a piece of pattern paper to put behind you. We'll have the tree punched out, and you put that down. And then this one is some paper that they brought out last year, but they still have it. It's called Winter Meadow, and it's one of my favorite papers and favorite ribbons too. Not sure how well you can see that, but it's really pretty. It's a kind of a white sheer ribbon with silver trim on it, and we'll have a piece to cut out. And this one flips open this way. It's called a tent fold, so it stands up to display. So those are the cards we're going to make, and the project we're going to make, and then we might have a fourth card if I get this all done by next Saturday. This is another one that we have. This is a current one. Christmas trees. So those are the things that we're going to make at the Christmas open house. And remember, if you've been one of my really good customers this year and you've spent $150 or more, you get to come for free. Everything's free for you. And everybody else, it is $25 to come and have all the products that I will have for you. Today, we're going to be making this Christmas card, and it utilizes some vellum in the middle. And we're going to be doing some heat embossing on the vellum. I'll show you how to do that today. And what's fun about this card is you get some of these little tea lights, and you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Hobby Lobby, any craft store mostly has them. And you just turn on the tea light, place it inside the card, and try to tip that for you. And you can see the light flickering inside like a candle. Of course, you don't want to use a real candle because the card would burn up, but the tea light works really, really well. And these are just really fun and pretty. My grandkids like stuff like this, anything they can turn on and off, you know. So we're going to make this card today. I'll turn my little tea light off for now. And the one I'm going to show you is similar, but I'm going to use some different paper and a different design in here because we're going to use So Very Merry. And this also came out last year, but they still have it in the online store. And I will link products below with a direct link where you can just click on the link and go right to it. But it's just a stamp set is all it is. Okay, there's no dies or anything in this particular set, and so it's pretty inexpensive. I want to say it might be like $22. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure it is pretty inexpensive because there's no dies. So today, here is our ingredients to make this card. So you're going to cut a piece of cardstock. Well, first you need to select the paper that the designer series paper that you're going to use. And today I selected my paper from the Take a Bow series. And again, this is linked below. It's number 164309. And it has lots of different Christmassy papers in here. And you can see that's the one I used on the card I already made. And this one, there's 6x6 papers, and this is the one I'm going to use today. So I selected my paper first, and on the back of all of our paper from Stampin' Up, they tell you which colors go with the paper that is in this package. And one of the choices was Granny Apple Green, and I love Granny Apple Green. It's not a traditional paper that you might use for Christmas, but I think you'll see that it turns out really, really nice. So you're going to cut this paper. You get a piece of cardstock, which is 8.5 by 11, and you're going to cut it in half, 4.5 by 11. Leave the 11. And you're going to score it at 3.5 and 7 1/8. Okay? And I've already done that scoring. You can barely see it, but those are the score marks for that. And then, like I said, I picked my DSP first, so then I know what color cardstock I want. And you need 2 pieces of the DSP. You need one for the front that's 3.25 by 4, excuse me, 3.25 by 4. And one for the inside, which is 3 5/8 by 4. Those are the 2 DSPs we need. You need a piece of vellum, and we used to sell the plain vellum, and now we don't. I think I read that they couldn't produce it as inexpensively as you can buy it at a craft store. So you can go to any craft store and just buy plain vellum. And you just need a 3x3 piece of this to make this project. Okay. And then for the back, so you have something to write on, you need a piece of 4 by 3.25. So those are your measurements. And this is what we're going to be doing to the vellum where the light is going to shine through it. We're going to be stamping with Versamark, which is a sticky glue type of thing. It's a watermark stamp pad, what it's called. We're going to use Versamark, and I also have that linked below. And you stamp it, and then you use embossing powder to sprinkle over it, and then you heat it up, and it becomes shiny and hard. And then we're going to color on it after we do that with some blend, Stampin' Blend markers to color it. But I'm going to do a different one besides the Santa, since I already did one Santa for you. I'm going to do one of the other ones. I might do the angel today, because that one turns out really pretty also. Okay. So that is our plan of attack. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to notice when you have your cardstock that one end is a little shorter than the other end, and the shorter end is the front of the card. Okay. So I am just going to tack this down. I do not want to totally attach it yet because I want to be able to lift it up. I'm going to cut a hole in it in a minute. So I'm just going to take my tape and just a very small piece, and I'm going to just tack it down so I can lift it up again. Okay. And I'm going to be cutting a hole in it. Now, you can do the hole a couple different ways. You might use stylish shapes. And if you do, decide if you have stylish shapes or if you order that, use the second one. second biggest one. Cut it. Okay. Not the biggest one, but the second biggest one to cut it. I also have a punch that I decided to use for this one. It's a 2 3/8 punch that I've had. It came with another set. And whenever you do a punch, you open them up. They come and you slide them closed, and you open them up, and you slide the paper in so you can see it. And I'm going to slide it in as far as it'll go, and I'm going to try to center it because I want to punch this. That's why I tacked it down, because I want to punch it both of the pieces exactly the same size or the same placement. And I just punch those out, and my paper is still tacked down because I tacked it at the top up there. Just close my punch, put that away, and I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to flip my card over because this is the inside piece that's going to go right here, because you see this is going to go like that. Okay, so this is actually on the other side, but I do want this to stay down, so I'm going to put more tape on that and center that and go ahead and put it down, because that's all I have to do on that particular side. Excuse me while I blow my nose because my cold is still hanging on a little bit with the runny nose syndrome. So delightful. Okay, so I've got all that done, and I'm finished with that. And I'll worry about my back later. The next thing I want to do is work on this vellum, and I know this is really hard to see, and when I put it down here, it's even harder for you to see this. But I am going to I'm going to get out my stamp set, and I've already used Santa, so this time I'm going to use the angel. Now with this stamp set, you can stamp all this stuff with regular ink on cards and color them in. This is just one idea of using it a little differently with this Versamark and the vellum and the embossing. And I also take a piece of paper because I'm going to be dumping the embossing on here. And before I emboss, I use one of these embossing powder. This takes off fingerprints. It allows the embossing glue ink stuff to attach a little better, and I just rub it over there gently. And we sell an entire embossing kit. I just haven't. I just bought this. I can't even remember how long ago I bought it. And you will notice that when I ink up using my Versamark on my stamp, that I am going to be very generous because I really want this ink, this embossing ink, to really, 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 really stick. I want lots of good ink on here. So I have my stamp on my block, and I have this upside down, and I'm really pressing this and making sure I get all of it in. And then I flip it over, and I'm going to center it. And I'm going to press very, very firmly on this. More firmly than that. If I was just inking this with regular ink, I wouldn't press this hard because it would probably spread and make, so it's sticking to the paper. So that's a good sign. And maybe you can see that a little bit, but the ink is on there really good. I can see it, and I can see I've got lots of good ink. And I'm going to use the WOW embossing powder. This is the black powder, and it comes in a package of embossing powders. These are the basic colors. You get 3 of them. You get the opaque bright white, you get the black, and you get the clear gloss, which is nice too. And so it comes in a package like this. And again, I'll have this linked below. So I've got my ink on here. And now I just sprinkle this on. And I'm really generous. You think, oh my gosh, you're using so much embossing powder. Well, I am, but I am going to not, only a certain amount of it is going to stick to where I put that glue. And I tap it off. And I look to see if I need to and sometimes I do this a second or third time. It just depends on how well it's sticking. And that's really a pretty good cover. And you've got to be careful not to touch it because it will come off right now because I have not heated it up. And I just use my paper to dump my embossing powder back in the container. And I'm going to shake off that paper to get the rest of it off in my garbage can. And you want to close your embossing powder before you start this next step. Because the next step is to emboss, use the heat tool to emboss. And I use some reverse tweezers to hold this because this is going to get really hot. So if I'm holding it with my finger, it would probably burn my fingers. It would burn my fingers. So that's why I use my my reverse tweezers. And don't forget to wipe off the embossing ink off of your stamp. And I just use my chamois to get that off. Okay. So then bringing the heat tool I have over here, and this is going to be a little bit loud. But you're trying to heat this until it turns glossy black. And when you're doing this in person, you will be able to tell, and I'll hold this up once it turns glossy. Some of it's already glossy. You want to make sure all of it turns glossy. So that's why I'm keeping my heat tool moving because it is possible to burn this. And then just about there. You can even turn it over and heat it from the back. I think that looks like I have a very nice glossy, can you see the glossiness on the angel? So now it's coloring time. And you can color on the front, but it actually works better to color it on the back. Because if you go over an edge, those black lines will prevent from seeing any of that. And I'm going to use some blues, I think, and maybe some greens, some light greens on this. And one of the colors I'm going to use is dark balmy blue and light balmy blue and light boho blue, dark boho blue, and maybe even not that one. I have blueberry bushel. I do have Tahitian tide also, which is an old color. I really like it. And Azure Afternoon maybe. And Dark Summer Splash maybe. I don't know. I'm just going to try. I'll leave some parts white and some parts blue. So this is dark balmy blue. And my grandkids have been playing in these because I can see I don't have my light balmy blue. They come in a set always. You get a set when you order blends. Like these are my boho blues, for instance. And you'll get a light one and you'll get a dark one. When you order them, you get two. So I'm going to use this one, and they have a bullet tip. This is the bullet tip, and then this is the brush tip. And the brush tip is good for a little bit larger areas when you're coloring. And the bullet tip is good for areas that are a little smaller. And this one is my dark balmy blue. I am coloring on the back. Like that. Then I'm going to use my light boho blue. And blends are called blends because they're alcohol markers and they do blend together. So, for instance, I just did light boho blue, and I'm going to take my dark boho blue, and I'm going to go around the edges a little bit to try to add a little depth to that. Then I'm going to go back with the light, and I'm going to blend it in. I go right over it and blend it. Makes it kind of pretty. Part of this is her dress, and then her wings, her top. think for her hair, I'm going to give her yellow hair. I'm going to do dark lemon lolly. And I'm going to blend that with dark daffodil. Brighten it up just a little bit. For her face, I want to use crumb cake. And I'm going to use dark crumb cake. Pecan. Dark crumb cake. I want the brush tip because it's really small. So I'm just going to color this with dark crumb cake in her hand with dark crumb cake. And then let's see. I'm going to use light orchid. I'm going to use some light orchid in here just to give that a little different color. And I'm going to put some of this orchid color. It's a very light purple. Put that in the stained glass. And this is a stained glass effect. When you have black line marker or black line pictures, that works the best. You don't want stamps that are colored in. Like this is another stamp set filled with cheer, which is new this year. But you can see it's fairly open and easily colored. So this would work also with this effect. That's blue. And then I think I'm going to use some Summer Splash. This is a green. This is actually one of our newer colors. I want the colors to, when I put that tea light behind them, I want them to really kind of show. I do that. That's the dark Summer Splash. Then on her wings, I'm going to do Blueberry Bushel. Yeah, I have light and dark Blueberry Bushel. So I'm going to do dark Blueberry Bushel for her wings. I'm going to come in with light over the top of it to do some blending. See, because I'm doing this on the back, I can just kind of color right over that. And that black on this side, you see, just can't see where I colored over the top of the marks. You can't see that at all. I'm using Blueberry Bushel for her wings. And then I'm going to come in with the lighter Blueberry Bushel and try to blend some of that. And this will dry lighter. Give hopefully the 3D effect I'm looking for. turn it over. You can see how pretty that is. And then I want to color the outside edges too. And I think I'm going to bring in the brighter yellow, the dark daffodil again, just because that's what I colored her hair. So I'm going to bring in some of that daffodil color again. I did every other one with that. And then I'm going to come back in with the purple, the Orchid Oasis. And I'm going to do that. So that's what it looks like when you have it colored in and you flip it over. It's kind of pretty. So I used a whole bunch of different colors here. And like I said, I have a lot of different blends because I love coloring with them. And you could make her in pinks. You could in greens. You could do whatever you like. That makes you, that resonates with you. Now, back to my cardstock. So I just put that down with one little piece of sticky. But this is going to go here, and I want to place it so that it fits over the hole. And I'm going to have to trim off some of the bottom. Okay, in fact, I think I'm going to trim off some of the bottom right now because I know it's going to be too long from doing my other one. And I want it to fit on the hole. So I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to run my tape or glue, whatever you've got for your adhesive. And I'm going to put that on, center it on the hole. Because the back side, and if you noticed, I just put my tape on the back side, so, because I want that to show through. And so now I want to put this top back on, and now I want to adhere it completely over that. So now I turn this back over, and now I'm really going to put my glue or my tape, whatever you're using as your adhesive, and I'm really going to put this down. Okay. Really put that on there, and I want to be careful to get this centered over my hole and square it up on my paper also, and press down. Okay. And so that is my angel. And when I put my tea light behind her, of course the flickering light looks really pretty. And she's going to sit up on a tabletop. Now, to make her sit up, I need, and I think I forgot to cut this piece of white. So I'm just going to jump over here real quick and look in my magic pile. Aha. Magic pile had some whites. I'm so glad. And I'm going to be stamping words this time. So I'm going to get out my Misty, and I've got a piece of white here. And I'm putting that on my Misty. I'm going to look back at this. I think I'm going to do Sending Loads of Christmas Cheer from this other set. Or a Warm Hello. I think I'll do, yeah, Filled with Cheer. Sending Loads of Christmas Cheer is what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to put that on here. This as straight as possible. I am going to cut it so I can fix it when I cut it if I don't get it really straight. That's one of the reasons I stamp before I cut. It's a little easier to straighten it up. Sending Loads of Christmas Cheer. And I am going to be super brave today, and I'm going to try to emboss this with some black. So I'm going to come back in, press that down, and I'm going to use my Versamark again. And I'm going to put lots of Versamark ink on here. And let's not forget this handy dandy little thing that helps keep the oils in your fingers will also pick up this ink. And that's why you use this little pouch. I think it's cornstarch or something like that in there. But you can buy it from us. We have a whole kit. It has lots of fancy things. This will look really good. I'm going to rub this down really good. I'm pressing really hard because it's the Versamark. I'm going to do it one more time. If I don't get it right with this, then we'll do regular ink. It is kind of small. That's better. Okay. Definitely better. And off my stamp. I'm going to get my paper back in here. Just a reminder, if you order things from me, if you would use my host code CDAUA92U, that's my November. It's only good for a couple more days, and I'll have to get a new one for December. And you get free stuff from me in the mail when you order from me. Sprinkle my embossing powder. It looks pretty good. Well, Christmas is a little bit wonky. I don't know how Christmas is going to turn out. It looks just a little bit. And I always have to remind myself to close that up. Get my double edge. Oh no. Oh, I already messed it up. I touched it. So like I said, this will come right off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just stamp it and not emboss it. I was being overly ambitious there with embossing words on live. So I'm just going to use this again and just stamp it. And I think I'm going to stamp it in black because I think that'll show up best. I'm just going to turn it the other way. Put my paper back in there. I've already got my stamp on the stamp pad, so it should work. Put my outfit. I'll just use my black pad. Looks like I need to open a new one. Oh, there it is. Okay. I do have a new one, but I think this one's still good. I've inked it up several times. But of course, using a Misty, if this doesn't stamp perfectly, this is just regular ink, Memento black ink that I'm using. I'm gonna lightly stamp that one more time. And I'm gonna really press on the loads because that's the part that didn't come out as good. Yep, there we go. Sending loads of Christmas cheer. There we go. Wipe the black ink off. Okay. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to use Stylish Shapes. I think this one, yep, that one's going to fit. I'm just going to cut this paper a little smaller. And I'm going to use my mini cut and emboss machine. I have got, I'm going to center this on here, and I've got a piece of washi tape to hold that on. I've got my very scarred up bottom plate, my not as scarred up. It's about time for me to switch. It's like I always do this thing with my plates on both my machines, is I label them bottom plate, top plate, because the bottom plate gets really scarred up and the top plate gets a little bit, just a little bit scarred up. So I switch them out and I move the bottom plate or the top plate to the bottom plate and get a brand new top plate, because they come in sets of 2 and that way they go a little bit further. And I usually peel this off. Now I've used this a few times, which is actually good, so it doesn't tear it. There's my sentiment. Now the trick here with this, to make this stand up, is I need to use dimensionals on the back of this. I still have some embossing powder on my paper. So there's stuff on the back of my paper, but no, it's okay. It's on the back. I'm just going to put, this isn't very big. It's not as long as the other one. I'm just going to put 2 dimensionals on here, which is going to make it stand up, which is what I want. And I'm going to place it at the bottom in the middle. And using my bone folder, I'm going to really crease this right there. And I'm going to really crease it back here. So that when I stand it up, it catches on this because it's raised up. Okay, it catches on there when you set it down. Okay. And then I can put, again, I can put my little lights in here. Turn it up for you. And it shines. Oh, so pretty. And these last for quite some time. In fact, this one's from last year that I used. Okay. So then on the back, I had that piece of paper cut, which was 4 by 3 1/4, to write on the back. And I'm just going to put that on. Now you can stamp something on here if you would like. You can stamp some of the smaller pictures. You could do the bird or the bells. You could do some of these words. 'Tis the season to be jolly, oh what fun, peace and joy, very merry. Whatever you wanted. You know, you could stamp any of those things on the back. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to go ahead and just glue this on to the back so that I have something to write on. I'm going to center that. Okay. So that is my card today. I hope you really like it. I just love using vellum, especially with a light behind it. It always turns out good, and I hope you can see how shiny and pretty that black turned out. You know, and it doesn't, now it doesn't rub off since we heat embossed it. It's permanent. And so like kids touch it, it's okay, you know. And kids are usually very drawn to this and they want to touch it and see what it's all about. But that's the process of making one of these little cards. And they go pretty quick. Again, I've talked about this before. If you batch cards and you cut all the bases, then cut all the DSP, and then cut all the vellum, you know, do all the stuff one step at a time and do them all. You know, you can batch 10, 12 cards in a couple of hours and make these. This is definitely because of the light. This does fit in an envelope, of course. You just fold it up and it fits in a standard envelope. But because of the light, it's probably something you need to hand deliver unless you're willing to put it in a package and send it somewhere, which would cost more. But it's kind of a hand deliverable type of card that you might want to do. But anyway, it turns out really cute. I hope you liked it. I'll link the products below, and I hope to see you next week. A week from tomorrow, is my first open house on December 7th. And then the second one is on Monday, December 9th. I'm open from 10 to 2. You do need to pre-register, so I know how many things to get. And I take PayPal, or you can send me money through the mail. I'll have my address linked too. whatever you would like, or you can contact me, call me, text me, whatever's convenient for you. And I hope that you'll decide to come. And for my customers that have spent $150 or more with me this year, you can come for free, which is kind of fun. You get all the stuff for free. This is an appreciation from me. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you